AISkyPlan is a plugin that connects to most airline ERPs and helps automate the maintenance planning. In order to do this, it requires integration to a lot of input data: aircraft flights and ground times, the people and their qualifications, their rosters, the tools and inventory availability, and more. This is all required to make the best decisions on maintenance task scheduling and resource allocation for the actual production planning. Given all this data is already in the system, AISkyPlan can offer pretty powerful dashboards, linking all this data together and preventing users from having to scour through multiple systems and reports. All dashboards are configurable on a per-user basis. First, let's look at the aircraft configurations. Aircraft records will maintain their current counters, typically through integrations, the applied mods, and the installed rotables. The ground times for this aircraft will also typically be integrated in from an operational system, and these will serve to accurately schedule the maintenance tasks on. We can also see the work queue for this specific aircraft. The master planning Gantt displays the aircraft flights and ground time in one easy to visualize chart. The color coding on the ground times also informs the user on the possibility of scheduling tasks here. The small gray areas are turnarounds, whereas the white boxes are overnight ground times. In some overnights, we can see light blue areas, indicating the lack of roster coverage. In other words, the Gantt is already telling us when engineers are available to do the work scheduled. When the auto-scheduling will have run, this chart will also show the planned tasks and any warning associated with them. In the resource menu, we can have a look at the airports. Each can be configured either as a capacity only, meaning we will not manage rosters, just the level of each capability, or named person, where we will be managing individual people and their rosters. In this example, Montreal is configured as a capacity airport, whereas Toronto has named people, each with their own roster patterns. We can see the full list of personnel in the employees screen. Here we see their location, their roster patterns, and their list of capabilities. These are important for the system to match the task's requirements on when doing the planning and production allocation. We can also see the future shifts in the list format, and when the planning will be done, we'll see their assignments in the Assignments tab. The shift view provides a Gantt format for the upcoming rosters. The white areas are the times when each resource is available to work, giving us a quick view of the total coverage. When the planning is done, these rosters will be filled with assigned tasks. Let's go back to the master planning view. We previously had a look at the Gantt screen, but we can also manage the tasks in the list format on the List tab. Here we can filter by just typing, like in Google, or we can create structured filters. This is useful to quickly get to the task projections we are looking for. Back in the Gantt, the Action button gives us access to SkyPilot, which is the auto-scheduling AI. In the dialog, we can configure manual scheduling runs by selecting which subset of tasks we're going to schedule. In this case, all tasks, for how long we're going to let the scheduler run, and how far ahead of time. In this case, we're going to schedule for the next week only. And finally, we're going to choose the scenario to run it on. AISkyPlan can manage multiple scheduling scenarios, which allow you to do what-if studies. We then launch the auto scheduler. We can see that as the scheduling progresses, the score is getting higher. This is the AI scoring its own solutions against our pre-configured weights. What it's trying to do is get the score as close as possible to 0, which would indicate a perfect schedule. Once the auto-scheduling is finished, the Gantt view is updated and all tasks are positioned accordingly. We can see that tasks are scheduled on specific ground times, where there is roster coverage, and are mostly skewed towards the start of the ground time. This is because we had pre-configured the weights to prefer minimizing the overall maintenance time for each ground time. Alternatively, we could have chosen to use a maximum amount of ground time while minimizing the number of engineers assigned. These preference weights are all configured on a per customer basis to solve their specific requirements. We can also use this view to manually fine-tune the plan with simple drag and drop. By clicking into a task, we can readily view the assigned resources that the autoscheduler has chosen according to our preference weights. If we go back to the employee screen, in the Assignments tab, we can now review the assignment sequence for each engineer, chosen precisely by the AI to balance the availability of the aircraft, the skills, the rosters, the inventory, and the specific preferences of each customer. These assignments can also be visualized on the Shift screen, where we can see the loading for each engineer. These tasks would then typically be integrated back out to the ERP as packaged work orders, per roster or per ground time, again, as per the preference of the customer.